Sydney Swans lead by 15 points. A late goal from Port Adelaide, despite the frustrations for Ken Hinkley in that third term, means they are in this game. But they're going to have to use their renowned finishing ability and try and get over the top of this Sydney Swans team playing at home. And they're such a strong team, so well led. Can they do it? David King, Jason Dunstall, two of our experts, premiership players themselves, to tell us if they can or not.
Well, of course they can. They're a powerful team. They're a high-scoring team, an offensively geared team, and I think that they can run over the top of Sydney if they can get their game going. And for that to happen, Sydney have got to concede that. They've got to allow them some speed into the game. That's the problem. Sydney are playing a mechanical game at the moment. They're getting the game played the way they want it to play. Let's have a look at what we mean when we talk about that. Here, Jace, you can just see Brandon Jack gets the ball. Now, there's no option in the inside forward 50 just yet, but you can see Adam Goods on the right-hand side of your screen make his way inside 50. Normally, that ball would have been kicked to give him a one-on-one opportunity. They don't want to do that. They want to keep it slow, keep it in tight, go by hand. So if they turn it over, there's no fast play opportunity for Port. They have to play through them. They have to play in the contest. They deny them the speed. I think it's great coaching.
Yeah, I thought it was a really tough kick to try and hit Adam Goods, and he saw numbers back for Port Adelaide. So it was a smart decision. Hold on to the ball, see if you can make something with a few hand passes. In the end, they got Sam Reid in a little bit of space, and he had the long shot that just fell short. But let's head boundary side to Cam Mooney.
Thanks, Jace. We're talking a look at Port Adelaide at the moment. Look, huge test for them this last quarter. We know how great they are with running out last quarters through this season. Look, they've lost Hartlett already with an ankle injury. We know Boak's carrying an ankle injury. We look here at the last quarter. Look at the numbers. Port Adelaide, 32 points for, Sydney 25 points for, but it's against 19 points against, 21 points against. So they're defending both pretty well. But it's the win-loss column. 9 wins to 2 losses for Port Adelaide this year. Huge test for them. Can they do it? Wingard's the one for me, the guys that needs to step up and kick a couple of goals.
Well, he did it just before the siren at three-quarter time. Can he do it again, this young, talented man in just his third season of AFL footy? At age just 20 years old. And this last quarter underway now from the SCG. Derek's down to Kennedy. You can see his effort. Ebert helped it. Gray been outstanding for them all day. Young put the head down. Ebert also been consistent through the first 3 quarters. Schultz, Mitchell's had his moments both ways, and it's out of bounds.
Well, they got the first clearance. That's one thing. They've got to try and play as much of the game as they can in their forward half of the ground, because if they concede too many goals, it makes the margin almost impossible to overcome.
So the ball whipped back in. Again, it falls shorter than the ruckman anticipated. Wines to Young to Mitchell. Does anyone want to take it on? He screws it back to the square. Boak, the spoil from Shaw. Oh, that's a big tackle laid on Rampy. The umpire said he obviously didn't have prior opportunity.
Good pressure. Get it in there with that quick kick. Have a look at this tackle here. He tried to sidestep him. That could very well be a strong argument for a Port Adelaide free kick.
Ball perhaps came out, slipped out. Here's Gray. Got it to boot.
Strong argument, Jace. Does that mean it is a free kick?
Well, I thought it was a free kick because it was the tackle that actually made the ball come out, and he was trying to evade him, so that's his prior opportunity. Didn't dispose of it correctly.
I just wanted to hear you say it. That was all.
Glad you hear as our interpreter, David. Swans come away. Malcheski off the right boot.
That doesn't happen often.
A rarity. Young sends it over the line and out of bounds. I think he'll go back to his left next time. Not that it was that bad.
It was actually a good kick.
Yep.
It was a very good kick. But see, with a 15-point break, I reckon they can concede a couple of goals, Port Adelaide. But if Sydney are good enough to kick 3 goals in this last term, I reckon it becomes too tough for Port.
You can see the big crowd watching on. Throw in. White comes as the third. Wingard down to Mitchell. He tried to work it off the outside of the boot. Never looked likely at all.
Well, you can see what they're trying to do. Hit the ball into space. Play a little bit of free-flowing.
Oh, Wingard got there when it mattered. Mitchell. And now the rest is history, and here they come. Wingard kicks the goal, the critical one.
I reckon the worst thing, and John Longmire knows it, and he also knows where the camera is. He likes to cover up what he's saying. The worst thing you can do with Port Adelaide is give them a sniff to let that belief kick in that they can run over everyone. It was the kick out He didn't even take a step. He kicked it from a stationary position, Malcheski, missed the target, and then Mitchell didn't panic. He found the hand pass to Wingard, made sure of it.
It's a sick feeling, Jace. I've been there, kick-outs.
So he's kicked one before the three-quarter time break and one just after. Oh, he just really was in the right spot at the right time that time, Chad Wingard. It's back to 8. Derrickson Lobe. Young. And they're going again. Poke has it knocked away by Shaw. Heard the call. Trengove had to adapt. Second tackle got him from Jack. But he kept it moving with Young. Broadbent. Back to Young. Trying his darndest to get it going, and he's been able to do that. Westhoff back to Broadbent. Angles the kick to the 50. And bypassed Wines and Jetta and sliding in Ted Richards.
Not happy Travis Boak. He wanted the short ball.
Kicks it long all the way back to the goal square because he knew what the next step was. It was the run from Cunningham on the outer side. But Port have got most of their numbers on that side right now. So this won't be easy for Cunningham. Hard, powerful running by Hanbury. Had to wait for the ball to bounce. Nothing obvious for him. Again, not a great handball, really. And Port fighting fire with fire, going hard with bodies at the footy. Gee, they look tired already.
I just think that this running game of Port Adelaide is challenging Sydney right now. Every time I see a stoppage, the last to leave is Sydney.
Kingy, we talk about their running game. We think it's about offense. It's about their defence as well. The way they pushed out, got on the outside of their opponent, made Cunningham actually stop and had to go back onto the ball.
Shaw gave it on the advance now from back into the middle. McVeigh feeding it back for Shaw again. So it's a considered approach here by the Swans. They didn't want to get it in there too quickly because they didn't have enough to go for. Franklin picks out McVeigh, who almost marked it. Kennedy came through as the backup. He's claimed. Did enough to not give away the free. It's getting the dangerous territory, though, for the Swans. If Port can pick it up, they'll be on their bikes and be away. Likewise, though, the Swans through Franklin.
Good kick.
Sends it deep. Enough to make any defender very nervous. A worrisome
Good
time.
spoil.
A spoil got it away. White, the collect wasn't clean, but it was good enough. And Carlisle lent a hand, and now they're away through Jonas.
Super kick.
Oh,
and they're out. They're out. He's got to wheel and go.
He gets told in no uncertain terms that Broadbent's on the run.
Got Schultz long, and he can bomb it.
They've got the mathematical advantage deep, and the kick is designed for Schultz. He couldn't get the run at it, though.
Needed to be a 75-metre kick.
The umpire's been cleaned up in the back plane there.
He has too.
He's gone down.
So we've got the sub, Jason.
Yep, Gary Rowan's come on. Brandon Jack is the one that has been subbed out. And you can just see the umpire a little worse for wear, but gutsy effort, up and running, back into the game.
Gary Rowan's been playing in defence in the Swans seconds team, so we'll see where he's deployed today. Kick goes back to the wing hops. Oh, Trengove. Stunning stuff from Buddy Franklin. He wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, he's been tackled the last 3 times he's taken possession. I think he better start expecting it.
He did well to get a boot to that, actually.
I'm not sure how many times you need to be tackled before you can expect it, but good to see some pressure there from Lance Franklin. Not a strong point in his game.
Yeah, and he's starting forward, Gary Rowan.
Poke was clean bowled. Here's Cassisi. Couldn't quite stand up when it mattered, but out of bounds, not the worst result. Early stages of the final term. Port kicking the vital first one to get them back within arm's reach.
You kind of feel they've basically had control of the game, Sydney, but Port are in a position to actually win this.
And that position getting better as they head forward through Young. Malcheski forced to defend. Wingard, ever dangerous.
I'll tell you what, if they kick the next one, Port, Sydney will have a real problem on their hands because there will be an undeniable belief in the Port players that they'll claim another victim in the fourth quarter.
Lobe fends it away for Gray. And Gray's claimed. Got boot to ball. And Paul wasn't going to pay the mark anyway. Richards had an age on the ground. In the end, he had to tread very carefully or he would have been pinged.
That was the result he was after. He was after a stoppage. He didn't want to give that free ball turnover opportunity close to goal. This is what Sydney are trying to do. Deny them any turnover ball.
Gray again hard at it. McVeigh As Kingy said, didn't want to release it out of there. Question's going to be asked here.
You don't want to get pinged. The one thing you don't want to do is give away set shots from free kicks.
That was a tight call.
Yeah, but the opportunities here, if Sydney can come out by hand, they can go the length of the ground. Porter's setting up behind the ball.
Yeah, they've got 3 spares in defence, Port, though.
Numbers everywhere. Lobe slapped it down. Corns looking for who else but Robbie Gray. Oh, he's done everything today, but he misses.
That was brilliant.
That was. Created an opportunity out of nothing and then nearly threaded the needle.
The only thing he hasn't done is kick a goal, Robbie Gray. He's contributed to so many, though.
Rowan on the charge.
Rampy puts it in his direction. Broadbent with the counter in the air. Outstanding, and it's out of bounds.
That's what Moons is talking about. That's the defensive run, to just get back and be able to get a fist to that ball. Most teams don't have that capability on a half-back flank or a back pocket like Broadbent's been today.
7 points the difference now. Wide up over the top. Parker is giving away the free. Young's footy. Westhoff 30 metres down the line called for it, but
Kingy, I don't reckon Sydney want to get too defensive either. They've still got to score to win this game. They can't just hold on to a lead.
I don't think they're holding on to anything. I think they're just being beaten at contested footy at the moment. It's 17-5 in favour of Port. They're just winning the hard ball. Sydney can't get their hands on the ball.
Gives it plenty. Look at Monfries coming with a rush. Terrific mark from Angus Monfries. What a versatile forward he is.
This has got really interesting, this game.
Well, this is what we expected. This is what we wanted. They have taken the Sydney Swans game off them. They are actually tougher than at the moment. As we said this term, they are putting it to them, and the Sydney Swans don't have the answers.
Hasn't had the continuity in his footy this year with the injury issues, but today he's played a defensive role. He's kicked 2 goals, this for his 3rd, his most crucial kick of the afternoon, and he nails it coolly and calmly. It's a 1-point ball game.
Well, we know they're fast finishers. We know they like to come. That's a fantastic mark and a great kick too. What an entry it was. There's only one person that could mark that, and it was Angus Monfries. They're powerful when they get going, Port, when they get rolling. We've seen them over the last fortnight. This is against Melbourne, Jace. There was an arm wrestle all day, and then late in that first half, they got rolling and finished the game strong at the end there. Port by 20 points. This is the one for me against St Kilda. Leading by 1 point there, and then bang, get going to win by 70. They're a quality outfit.
Yeah, this is game on, and it's going to be interesting to see what Sydney have got left in their legs.
Marks inside 50.
Look how they've opened it. They've spread their wings. They've spread the flanks, trying to open up the ground. Again, Port Adelaide.
Yeah, they're swarming all over them. That could have been a free to Wines. Not paid. A fumble from Shaw to Parker. Big Derricks heaves it up to half forward. Goods. Crowd around him. Trengove going to be tackled again, but this time he released the handball to Pittard. He learned his lesson. Pittard didn't. That's holding the ball. That's Buddy Franklin getting his knees dirty, laying the big tackle.
2 in a row from Buddy. He's hunting them down. He's using his speed defensively. We love to see him run and carry when there's a possession available or a shot at goal available, but he's done it both ways today.
He just fumbled and stumbled, Pittard. He had Carlisle out to his right if he had have looked and they were away.
Trengove caused the panic, didn't he? He caused the panic. He's just taking too long to make a decision.
Some deep breaths. Buddy Franklin.
They need it, the Swans, big time.
Takes centre stage at the SCG. Here he is, the number 23. That's why they pay him the big bucks. And the bucks are big, and so is that goal.
Well, he's the man for an occasion. He loves the big occasion, the big stage. And that man there just needed a little more composure. Just have a look. He started deep on the right of screen, and that's where Carlisle went because he thought he would get the next hand pass from Pittard, and he probably should have. But a fumble and a stumble from Pittard put him right in the gun. And I don't think they pay drop kicks anymore.
Well, he's come to the fore in this second half. 3 goals, 4 now for Buddy Franklin. And the way he won that footy and then the way he executed the kick, just outstanding. Back to 7 points. Derricks, the crowd getting really involved, Moons, for the first time of the day, really. Channing will get back to in a moment. Here's Shaw to Hanbury. Stripped of it. Got the handball again. Here's Jack.
Well done.
Twisting, trying to
good
twirl his
pressure.
way out of there.
Gee whiz.
Port, relentless with their effort. Boak to full forward. Wingard, it might go all the way. It didn't. Smith, terrific contest. Not done with
tap.
yet. Oh, Wingard again. He helped it out. And off the ground, Westhoff. Now, it's a goal.
Oh, Dan Hanbury is in trouble. Holding the right ankle. Let's have a look at it here. He gets spun in the tackle. Oh, it gets twisted underneath him. Around the legs of the Port player. That hurts. But have a look at this tap here from Wingard. Critical little passages of play. Back into the goal square.
What about these sliding legs? That's dangerous.
World Cup style.
It's the little things that matter in match. This is not a little thing. This is a big thing. Daniel Hanbury. This looks serious. That little tap back from Wingard was just pure gold. And Port will not go away. Once again, it's 1 point the difference. This is living up to all expectations. The game of the year so far. First versus third. It's very much on the line. Port just coming with one player after another. Westhoff, the pressure being handed over to Lobie. Up into the 50 now. And the head down the bottom up from Laidlaw. Gets it to the ground and gets it over the line and out of bounds. Not deliberately.
Well, guys, you just see Dan Hanbury there looking at his right ankle. You just see it completely go under him. That's a horrible vision, that one right there. So you got him on the bench at the moment. So they're down a guy, down a rotation at the moment. We know Hartlett's gone off as well. So it's so you can keep it up here, guys. But look, we know this is going to be an absolute advantage for Port now with that extra one off the bench.
Tough break for Rampy, eventually controls it. Gary Rowan, here's your moment, Gary. Couldn't keep his feet, regrets it, he gets up. Well done, plucky stuff. Couldn't get through though. He's going to lay a tackle on Jonas. Impey the next to feel it. We're all feeling it here in this last quarter. It's terrific stuff. And away comes Hobbs. He just didn't quite clear the area though. And Lloyd screws it back. The crowd were getting on their feet. Now they can sit down.
Rowan's a danger. He's a danger at full forward. He's got tremendous speed. Jarman Impey did a great job to go with him, but he just dragged him there. He got away with it.
That's a free kick.
Yeah.
No doubt that's a free kick.
We love when they don't pay him. Let them go. Let the game go. The players will sort it out, Chase. They did earlier on in the game.
Hobbs, driving ball for Westhoff. The spoil was really urgent with great earnest, but it didn't get it done, and Westhoff has wide away.
They'll take him on.
Wines is going to power through the 50, or he might go longer to Gray. No, he does choose Wines. So young Ollie Wines, in his second season, hits up Mitchell, and you know what?
50.
Port have got a shot here to take the lead.
Wow, very close.
It's just relentless, the way they swarm forward when they see a half an opportunity. Now it looks like Jack might have rolled an ankle. Kane Mitchell, he's had a tough day, but he has a chance here to send Port on their way.
Hanbury's up and walking about at the moment, Jace. They've just put one solid little piece of tape around his ankle, which I'm really not sure what that's going to do for him, to be honest. But he's up around walking. He's just starting to jog now, which doesn't look too flash.
So all eyes on Kane Mitchell. He goes in and he can't hit the board the way he would have liked. Been a big occasion for him today, Kane Mitchell. Just in game number 18.
It has been a tough day, but you know what's great? He kept putting himself in position to have an impact on the game. He's got to continue to do that.
Sure. Oh, that's a wobbly footy. Mitchell just had to turn around.
Got away with it.
It was his. Now they're charging the other way.
Great kick.
Look out.
And it's Franklin again.
Open goal
He
square.
might try for a 70-metre goal. And he really would be worth all the money they're paying him. Give him a longer contract. What a kick.
You can't do that. He's kicked that off one step from 70 metres. And it carried all the way there.
That's paradise for a full forward. You've never got any options on, regardless of if there's 15 pairs of players in front of you. To knock through your fourth from downtown.
I hope people appreciate how amazing this kick is. Look where he is. He's 70 metres from goal. Off one step, he wheels out and goes bang. And look how far it carries to the goal line.
That's the buddy zone. That's 70 metres on the fly,
It's a
James.
bomb. It's a bomb. No other word for it.
He loves the SCG. You can kick him from anywhere.
Boys, Dan, quick one. Dan Hanbury's gone under just with the doctors to get checked on.
Here's Reid. Comes charging through. Off the ground, Young. Even accidentally. It's all about territory now.
Numbers.
It's determination. It's the surge. Gray held up in his tracks. It's Swans footy and it's Port Adelaide footy these days. It's relentless stuff. Kennedy takes it. A quick look. McVeigh tried one on, then decided he better just kick it, but he had nothing to go to.
Yeah, and he throws his hands up. He didn't have the legs.
Jetta comes late with the spoil.
Overcommitted.
Opened it up for Pittard, who's prepared to run, prepared to take them on. Guides the kick into the 50. Careful with Schiltz, careful with Smith. Now it's Shaw, one of the veterans. Whipped it over to Cunningham, and he can go. Has a look at Broadbent, treats him with disdain. Kicks it to Jetta. Jetta can turn it on the other way. Franklin's leading. McVeigh's the long option. He goes for McVeigh, and McVeigh will jump and almost take it. Well done, Trengo. Play on! That wasn't the call he was after. He's able to get it with the escape valve and find his man even.
Oh, that's a dangerous kick.
A wandering ball. It's Kennedy. It's still Kennedy, but he's missed
Everything.
and hits the behind post.
What about the pressure in this game? You make a mistake, you allow a play on, you allow anything. You allow a free run for Port Adelaide and they're going to cash in. They are looming large here with their run on counter-attack. It's versus the Sydney Swans tackle pressure at the moment.
So he'd be kicking himself, Josh Kennedy. I watched him in the warm-up. He kicked about 4 or 5 of those from that exact spot.
Gee, I worry about the decision-making at times from some Trengo. I reckon that he's got to make his decisions a little quicker. He doesn't give himself time to dispose of the footy kicking. he induces the pressure.
He's the most tackled player in the competition at the moment.
There's a reason.
Crowd of 41,317. I think that's the 6th time we've got over 40,000 at this ground. And at the moment, it is a thrilling contest. And there's still plenty of nerves jangling as Port go forward, but not with any system.
But they're looking for that short kick, Hutto, and the Swans aren't allowing it. They need to maybe just flick a few handballs through and get themselves into space first because it's on.
Oh, look out here.
McVeigh out to Lloyd. Franklin's one out deep again. He's hotter than hot, Buddy, and he's not been able to mark it. It's not over yet, though. He tries one on Carlo. Gets some good assistance. Buddy's still going. Buddy's still going. He's unstoppable.
Well, I didn't think the last one was kickable. Neither was that.
Well, there were 2 great shepherds here. One on the line from Adam Goods to allow it to be a goal, but one to just give Buddy Franklin a metre and an opening, to open the gateway, just trying to catch who the player is that puts a block on for him. Just as he comes in the screen here, it's Smith, the ultimate team player, just opens the gate for him and he says, just let me through there, big boy. I'll knock that through for you. Adam Goods did the job on the line. Look at that. That was going to be touched. Could have been a free kick, but who cares?
Poor old Alapati Carlo. I think he's played a really good game and he's going to end up having a handful kicked on him, including some spectacular goals in the last term that probably win the game for Sydney. Well, has this contest risen in the 4th term?
Extraordinary. 5 goals, 4 for Buddy Franklin. And out of the middle, it's Robbie Gray. And Gray again, using Lobie. And Gray again, he can't offer anymore. His 28th disposal. Ebert back the other way, though. Shaw of hand, as it turned out, for McVeigh and Nel Malcheski. Clean to Cunningham. He sees off Holmes. Where's Buddy? All eyes turn to the goal square. Will he kick it deep?
Rowan.
No, he goes short to Rowan, who fumbled. Tough one to handle. Holmes straight into a Cunningham. Latch. And Rowan. Now Jonas to Westhoff. They've got a second win, the Swans. They're coming hard. Grundy deep to Franklin. Adam Goods, just a bystander like the rest of us in this quarter.
Well, that's a good result for Sydney. Dan Hanbury back on after he really looked to have rolled that ankle in serious fashion.
13 points the margin. Goods comes flying through, looking for a free. Umpire not buying. Lobie did enough. Boak, they're being forced into that back pocket. Corns chipped it out wide. Smith, Rampy. Monfries almost got one in the back.
Just want to have a look at that last centre bounce, Chase, what Port Adelaide did. Look at them draw the wingman right out. The ball's about to be bounced. They take the wingman wide. They're trying to make the ground bigger. They're trying to accentuate. You can see on the left there, Mitchell heading towards the boundary. On the right-hand side, Corns dragging out wide, trying to get that pure centre break to score. They realise at 13 points down, they need scores and they need them quickly. Great coaching.
Melcheski, Wingard to half forward. Bouncing any which way. Richards takes it to the line.
I like it as a strategy, Kingy. If you think you've got better spread in the centre square, all you're doing is you're saying, well, if you guys can halve the clearance, we'll back you to get on the outside and actually run, and we don't want anyone else interfering with it.
And they pulled their forwards back to the goal square. There was literally 80 metres of space if they win that centre clearance.
Robbie Gray again for Lobie. Bit by Port. They've got it into the 50. Reece Shaw left it behind this time. Monfries, desperate stuff from young Lloyd, and they're out again. Rowan has to counter two. Oh, nothing there. Trengo's footy. Carlisle now. It's a probing ball. Westhoff, Grundy removed him from the contest. Gets ticked off by the umpire.
Well, they just need to find a way just to settle the game down against Sydney. They don't want to play this at breakneck speed. Drop back into that measured approach. They may concede a goal. Doesn't really matter. They need to find a way to kill 2 or 3 minutes off the clock.
Leave it on. Play on.
4 minutes 40 on that clock. The kick goes down the line. Derek's well behind Lobie.
He's nearly all Australian, this guy.
He'll be certainly in the mix if he keeps going the way he is. Oh, Westhoff takes a chest mark.
They just don't know how to go away, Port Adelaide. There's still plenty of time left, and he's hurrying back to save precious seconds, but 4.5 minutes and it's only 13 points. He needs to concentrate on the kick and not rush it.
It's a game where many opportunities have been wasted. Goals are precious in this late stage. Wow. And unfortunately for Port Adelaide, that's a huge miss. 12 points the difference now. Just 2 straight goals in it.
Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be, Jace? If it's going to be Port Adelaide, who's going to be the player that needs to spike? Westhoff looms large at the moment. What do you think?
Oh, look, it's hard to tip Port Adelaide because I think Sydney have had the answers all day. The worry for them, though, is every time Sydney go forward, they look likely to score as well.
Very proppy out there, Hanbury. Holmes brings it to Cassisi.
Oh, they're on in the middle of the ground.
They are. Can they use those resources? Young decides to handball. Back to Cassisi. Now they bring Carlisle in on the act. Well, he takes it wide to Mitchell. It's a long way home. He sets it up to the square. Now's your hero moment. We wait, we watch. Big tackle, Wingard. Latched on. Monfries. Little opportunity. Ball gets dragged back into the mire. Is there any way out? Just good, hard, solid stuff. Body on the line.
Oh, there's a foot in there.
There was. Hanbury winds, tries to bullock his way through. Monfries, they hand it off. The tackles are crucial. Everything's critical. Mitchell had some trouble times today, and he almost came up with what could have been a golden goal. It's a behind, though, and it opens the door.
They needed the 3 scores either way. 2 goals and a point.
Melcheski.
Got to hit a target.
Pressure on.
Find someone free to buy some time.
Oh.
Oh, he's missed it.
On the bounce to Reed. And then Smith.
Missed it.
A wobbly one to the wing and takes it out of bounds.
They're feeling the heat too, Sydney.
Well, it's the toughest kick in football at the moment. Exiting your back 50 is the toughest kick in the game. And
2 minutes 55. Sorry, Kingy.
They've loaded the back line. They've got 3 loose men at the moment, the Sydney Swans. They can feel the heat.
Jack. And he's 150th towards the line. What a wonderful rehearsal for finals football this is.
Which means the important thing for Port Adelaide is if they win the stoppage, win the clearance, they've got to run and carry.
Go lateral.
The bomb forward doesn't help you. Too many numbers.
It's back into play again. Derricks and Lobie. All day they've been going at each other. Hammer and tong. Could have been high on Corns. Not paid. Is there an exit here for Port? Corns trying his hardest, but it's out of bounds and pressure seconds tick away.
Well, Sydney will love this. They'll take stoppage after stoppage.
You need to gamble here. You need to gamble if you're Port Adelaide. Smash the ball back into the corridor. Speculative handballs. Just don't bomb the ball forward.
Sam Reid's the loose in defence for Sydney.
Slapped away from Derricks. And it goes to Corn. So here's the opportunity to half forward Monfries. There's a crowd around him.
Arms free.
Almost got the jump, but not quite. Jack comes back relentlessly the other way to the wing. And they contest once more. And there's nothing doing there. Port hoping to get a hold in the ball call. They don't. We're down to 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
But they train this more than anyone over the last few years, the Sydney Swans. Situational training. We're 2 goals up, we're a goal down. Whatever the scoreboard reads, they play accordingly. Very measured, good leadership.
Buddy's one out inside the forward 50. Jetta's putting the moves on, kicking it high. Buddy holds his ground. If Sydney win the ball, they'll be able to kick it down to him. In fact, he's come up to the 50 now on the edge of frame. Corns is there. There's Buddy coming in, and here's Gray. So can Port, with 1:40, orchestrate something. No mistakes from here. Wines back to the middle. The wrestle's on. Tired bodies. Desperate times call for desperate measures. And Port Adelaide are trying their darndest. They just can't lay the skin on. Now they can. Trengove. If they can get it out, almost threw it out. Wingard, 1:15 on the clock. Even he can't conjure the required magic. It's close to the line. Shaw takes it down that line, down the area. Mark dropped by Lloyd. McVeigh decided not to handball. Instead, took the 20 metres that were on offer. Rowan, he'll get it to the chalk. And they almost can't go any further, these players.
He's been important, Rowan. He's had a lot of nothing-type players like that, just creating a neutral ball in the area, drawing an opponent. He's given Franklin some space down in this last turn.
58 seconds remaining. Every one of them precious now. Robbie Gray, been amazing for Port. And again he goes. His 34th disposal.
Oh, great mark.
Westhoff, deep. And dangerous. Oh, Schultz has marked
Don't
it.
get a chance at this.
33 seconds.
Again, he saves time. He runs back quickly. Now he gets into his routine and he kicks. They'll have 15 seconds or so.
Skips in, puts it through. 17 seconds.
Get everybody behind the footy if you're Sydney. Everybody.
Well, if you're Sydney, you can't be drawn wide. You can't have what happened on the previous centre bounce, where you allow 50 metres of space in front of the centre bounce and width. You need to get all your numbers back, keep 1 or 2 forwards at home, and make sure you cover all the big gaps of space, the voids.
They got 2 forwards there. They've pulled 4 of them down back. But the key here is don't lose a clean clearance. You've got to put pressure on it.
Sydney a 2-man forward line. Couple across half-back. We're down to the last 17 seconds. First versus third from the SCG. It all comes down to this. Lobey to Ebert. Oh, his kick goes out wide.
Clever kick.
It wasn't bad. Boak turns. 9 seconds. They need a mark. The moment is now. At the back of the pack, it's crept through for a behind.
Massive punch from Sam Reid. A massive punch.
He's been the saviour before, Sam.
He has, yeah. Did it against
Fremantle last year.
In a draw, I think that was.
Yeah.
They've done enough, the Swans, barring an absolute catastrophe on the kicking from Malcheski. Oh, he kicks to himself. That had danger about it. The siren sounds, and Sydney win. It's as simple as that. Cyclone Buddy hit the SCG in the second half, and he got them over the line with 5 goals. The Swans win by 4, but what a battle. What a battle by Port Adelaide, who did not lose any friends or supporters, but the Swans get the 4 points.
And they won the last quarter again, Port Adelaide. An amazing effort to really push Sydney. Sydney had to pull out all the stops. They needed some experience, some cool heads in the times of real crisis. And you can see the disappointment on the Port Adelaide players. They didn't come here to be competitive. They came here to win. They believe they can win every game. They believe they could get over the top of Sydney, and they are bitterly disappointed. Take nothing away from their effort. Sydney were brilliant. Port Adelaide, they are going places.
Let's get down to the man who turned it on in the second half. Who else, Moons?
I am down here with the man, buddy. 8 wins in a row. You guys are just hitting some really good form at the moment.
Yeah, it's a super win by the boys today. Port on fire too. So both teams have won a few games on the trot. So to come out and win like that against a quality opposition in Port Adelaide, it's always good to play on the home deck at the SCG, and to win by a little margin like that's always good.
Mate, it looks like you're really enjoying your time up here in life, and getting to know your teammates more and more every week goes by.
Yeah, definitely. I think it takes a little while to get used to your teammates on what foot they kick with and everything. But I'm enjoying training. I'm enjoying getting out on the park with the boys each week.
Mate, how good is this? They haven't had over 40,000 since 2001. I reckon they're here to see you, big boy.
42,000, you can't complain. The supporters are great tonight, so thank you.
Mate, well done, buddy. It was a fantastic game. Well done, mate.
Cheers, mate.
5 goals, 4 from Buddy Franklin. It was just a delight to watch him in action. And he's the biggest show in town now, that's for sure. The Swans win by 4. What a game of football.
So it was third against first at the SC. To their feet, but he wasn't done. He unloaded another from 55 around the corner, which was just as good, if not even better. And Sydney had done enough to hang on for a nail-biting victory, and in the end, it was only a 4-point margin that separated the two teams. Kieran Jack in match number 150, chaired off by his teammates. And doesn't victory make it that much sweeter? It was a terrific game. It ebbed and flowed. A little scratchy early as they both sort of felt each other out, tried to dominate and get their own styles of football imposed on the game. But certainly the second half lived up to its top billing. Franklin with 5. He kicked 4 points straight to start with, and then 5 straight goals. Goods 3 in the second term, and Schultz leading the way with 4 for Port Adelaide. Thought it was an outstanding match, Kingy.
Oh, what a great game. We knew Port Adelaide would come back. They were always going to hang around and linger and loom large, but credit to them. I thought they were gone at stages there, and they found a way. Robbie Gray, for me, was the man for the night. 35 disposals, 10 score involvements. Ebert, 40 disposals, 9 score involvements. They're just taking giant strides. They haven't got the result today, which is staggering. When you look at, they've won the clearances, 51-33 by 18. They've won the inside 50s. They've had more shots than them. They've taken 16 marks inside 50 to Sydney's 5. Yet they've lost.
Sydney wouldn't be denied. I mean, they're playing supreme football, and they are as good a chance of winning it this season as anyone. But Port Adelaide, they don't lose any admirers from that effort, do they?
No, and Pollock comes back in that midfield that's absolutely flying at the moment. So there's upside for both teams, but you have to be happy with what you've seen from Port Adelaide.
A big crowd at the SCG, and it was a big match. The Swans prevailing by the end, 4 points the margin.
Well, come on at 3. 1, 2, 3.
Cheer, cheer the red and the white. Honour the name by day and by night. Lift that noble banner high. Shake down the thunder from the sky. Whether the odds be great or be small, Swans will go in and win overall. While our loyal sons are marching away to victory.
This has been a Fox Footy production.